Ladies and gentlemen, brethren, most worshipful, all the right worshipables and past grandmasters and everyone else in the room, it's a pleasure to be here today, and it's also very humbling because when we look at this exhibit, what we see is great men in whose shadow we stand, but whose arms and hands we hold as we continue in these traditions. So, when you stand to and abide by, you are following the footsteps of many, many great men in Virginia. I said to Bill Thomas, you know, Bill, it seems like at one time all the great men in Norfolk were Masons. He said, yes, and they will be again. So all, please enjoy. It is our pleasure to be here. I would remind you that what you see here in terms of Lafayette, most worshipful Brother Thomas Matthews and all the other people that are represented here are still with us in many different ways, and we follow in their footsteps. And that is an awesome responsibility, but also a great delight. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our president introduces the Grand Master, we'd like to recognize our Deputy Grand Master who's present. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, then let me introduce most worshipful Edmund Cohen, who really got us going. This was the Grand Master that really got us going, and we raised, through your leadership, about $100,000, which is the first real money that we have raised here at the Grand Lodge Library Museum. So it was his leadership and vision that got us going. When I was master of my lodge, I would frequently say we want every year to be better than the one before. Right. And I expected my senior ward, when he was master, to have a better year than me, and so forth and so on. And I think we've adopted that same strategy throughout Freemasonry. And so we want to thank everybody for helping us get started with making this a real annual event. And we can't wait to tell you what we're going to do next year. And I just wanted to say thank you for being here, and thank you, Mark, for what you've done. And in case anybody was wondering, you're wearing a War of 1812 uniform.
Civilian militia, yes.
Great. Thank you.
Most worshipful, I just wanted to say thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to be able to show some of the history of our lodge to all the people here, and it's our pleasure and honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Worshipful. It's our pleasure and honor again. Brother, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a special honor and pleasure for me to present to you our Grand Master, Most Worshipful William Earl Moore, Jr.
First, I'm going to ask for our Grand Lodge officers to join me up here because I can't look out in the crowd and see everybody. So if y'all will join me up here, so I can make sure I have. I see one of my district deputies here. Do we have any other district deputies? Okay. We have two of our district deputies from 15B, 15C.
Yes, sir.
Here today with us. Do we have any appointed Grand Lodge officers? I don't see anybody here. I'd now like to introduce you to our Grand Lodge of Virginia that we have here today. Wayne Sawyer Floor is our Grand Junior Deacon for the Grand Lodge of Virginia. Paul David Sleeper is our Grand Senior Deacon for the Grand Lodge of Virginia. Don't see whether it's junior and senior. We have here John Mason Champs, the Deputy Grand Master for the Grand Lodge of Virginia, who in just a few days will be taking my place. We also have with us many of our past Grand Masters, and I'd like to introduce them to you at this time. William Franklin Perdue, I think, is our senior one that's here today. Grand Master of Masons in 1991. Alan Wayne Atkins, Grand Master of Masons in 1997, who's also our Grand Secretary. Oh, John Quinley here, our Grand Master in 2005. Okay. Oh, Edmund Cohen, Grand Master of Masons in 2006. 2008. 2006 is downstairs serving donuts. And right Worshipfil Jeffrey Eugene Hodges, Grand Master in 2009. Thank you all very much for being here. Did I miss anybody that needs to be introduced? Thank you. I can tell you that as Grand Master, and probably as the Grand Masters before me today, that we've had an opportunity to wander around this place. And I can tell you that every time I do this, I find something new and interesting. It's kind of like being in a sacred place at times, because you read the names of the things that these people through the ages who have been our leaders have left us here to see. It's a tremendous worth of history and knowledge and education in this room. And I would like to solicit all of you to help us to continue this legacy. If you find things in your lodge that need to be here, let's get them here. We also need funds to keep the thing going. Things in this day and time cost money. And I can tell you that our librarian and the members of this committee work diligently to keep this first class. And I can tell you that this is truly a first class exhibit. Thank you all for being here today. Please enjoy what you see here and the rest of the festivities of this day. Thank you.